The smell is kind of like it overtakes your entire body and your brain and your, all your organs and your skin and everything. And it kind of forces you to go closer. Just one of those things,
I like scents that are floral, that are feminine, that are...
The smells were comforting.
I don't know, it's pheromones.
And the women dressed very chic. They always smelled like really feminine.
And I remember some of my best memories were fall, especially. We have these giant memories in our backyard, and they would fall off, and my brothers would just break the leaves and jump in and stuff.
The smell of the clothes of someone you love.
The smell of books in a really awesome library.
The scent of fresh cut lawns.
The smell that a serger gives off when it's cutting fabric.
The scent of my 4th grade teacher that I didn't like.
My newborn, his name is Zayden Echeverria, and he's 6 months old now. My first son is the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. Just a pure, innocent, just something that's fresh. The moment you smell and kiss this child, or I believe any newborn, it makes you feel brand new again. And I don't want to get religious or anything, but you almost feel like your sins are washed away. But that's a beautiful moment in my life, and that smell still lingers with me.
Oh man, I get so nostalgic thinking about it. But there was a certain lip gloss that I started wearing when I moved to Italy when I was really young. It was kind of a coming of age type thing, I guess. So I get thrown into this other country, and I've never been out of the country by myself before, and I would put on this lip gloss every day to go to castings and stuff, and I met this guy who's from Canada. And we had a relationship, but in Italy, we were there together for like 2 months, and I think that was the first time I actually fell in love. And I also became a woman. So I think of, like, whenever I put it on, the smell, I instantly feel like this nostalgic feeling, and I'm like taken back to Italy just for a second.
Well, my ex had this really, really big sweater that he wore. Like, we could not care less that we were in London, or I couldn't, like, I was like, okay, I'm in Scotland, whatever, because I was just like that was like my first love. So what I really remember smelling when I think of Scotland is smelling him. So like, I just remember smelling like his cologne, like just always being pressed up into him in some way. Like if we were riding the train, I would just like snuggle and like just put my nose in his sweater. And it still smelled like him for a really long time after I left Scotland, and I would just like keep it somewhere safe so that it would still smell like him for as long as possible.
Well, I realized from an early age that I had a selective sense of smell just because, my mom gardened all the time, and I'd always help her. And she'd always bring up flowers and say, "Can't you smell this?" And I really can't. I can't smell it, and you could smell the dinner being made, but I couldn't smell it. Stuff that really is really strong too. It's just I don't know what it is. I guess I choose to smell what I want to attach memory to. I don't just because everything I smell I remember, be it the ocean or a person. It's very emotional for me.
I get a rush out of that. Like, it's the smell of the soap and water. It's the smell of blood. When someone's like, it's like a rites of passage, when somebody, dedicates themselves to and they commit themselves to that artist, and they just are willing to just be vulnerable like that. Like, I think that's pretty dope. And I get people from all walks of life, and they come to me and they want to get tattooed, and it's a spiritual experience.
Like, I would try to create scent out of 2 parts of my childhood, like the beginning part and then the last part, like before I left. So like the bad part was like in 2000 when the country was like going in riots and stuff, and it was like really, really bad. But the beginning part was really nice. smelled of lots of gardens and like a really fun childhood. Think of like, what was that, Secret Garden? When they played in the garden the whole time and it just smelled like spices and pretty stuff and wind and everything pure and organic. That'd be the first part I would try to create a scent out of, but also the last part of, like, the ending parts of my childhood, I guess when puberty started to hit, when the country was going really, really bad and it was like hospitals were on strike and people were dying, just because it kind of shaped like who I am today right now. Excuse me, sorry. I want to remember that because it's kind of like, it's like my inspiration for my future. If I forget it, then it means that like I don't have any like motive to aspire to help the country.
Definitely like 8th grade, high school summer, like chasing girls in the mall, and it's that general like Midwestern aroma of like girls wearing too much like limited to berry perfume and just almost trying too hard. It's very overwhelming, I guess, and I don't know, it just takes me back.
And do you laugh at, like, how does it make you feel if you smell that now?
Oh, it's almost like a joke. It's just funny to me. Like, it just takes you back to that like awkward time in middle school and high school when everyone's like running around and trying to impress everyone else, and it's just an amusing time in my life, I guess.
It's seductive, sensual, it's evocative, it makes you go inward in a very pleasant way. Even to think about scents opens up the cells of the body, and in its particular way, it's very healing. Now this is interesting, outside my office, there's a vine called stephanotis. It's what they put in bridal bouquets. And when you've had it growing for 10 years, as I have, the entire east part of the house just floats you into heaven with this scent. Oh, stephanotis, get yourself a stephanotis vine. Little pretty white flowers, look like bells.
If I could create a scent that was important in my life, I mean, I guess it would be my first love. I haven't seen him in a really long time, so I guess it would be nice to be able to go back to him in that way, just smelling him, as hard as it might be, or just, I don't know, it's different. A smell is so different from actually visually seeing someone. It's like, it just consumes you and brings you back to things more so than, I guess, just like a visual memory can. Like, it's like a feeling. The difference between a picture and a scent, it's more just stale almost, a picture is. It's not, doesn't completely absorb you like a scent does. When you smell something, it overtakes you and brings different emotions in you that you maybe didn't realize would happen. So, yeah.